Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. We want to thank our newest patrons.
We do. We want to say a huge thank you to Ruthie, and I just love that name. I love the name Ruthie. It's so cute. And Hologram Quantum Light. That's a fun name, too.
It is. And Ruthie was a family name.
Yes, Ruthie is a family name. I like it.
Family name of Cindy's, I should clarify. Oh, it's crazy out there, guys. It's absolutely crazy. The world is very explosive right now. Sakurajirima is getting in on the act, and this is probably the mildest thing we're going to talk about today at this particular time. So we were talking about the Venezuelan election or lack thereof, and there has been chaos and protests breaking out in numerous Venezuelan cities, including Caracas, after the electoral body formally declared Maduro the winner of Sunday's election. Yeah, chaos absolutely ensuing. Again, Elon's made a lot of tweets about this in reference to, it's July here in Venezuela. What's it going to look like in November in the U.S.? What happened now is they didn't supposedly, I'll just preface everything with supposedly, they didn't even finish the counting. And so you see there's a lot of unsettlement going on out there, a lot of anger as the armed forces are getting ready and the Venezuelan people seem to be getting ready. Just chaos. This tweet saying that Venezuelan people coming from the hills of Caracas in large numbers forcing the police to retreat and run. We've actually seen that in multiple countries when the mass of the actual people of a nation have risen up to a point where the police and military forces have to beat a quick one out of town and regroup. Another stabbing attack in the UK. A man armed with a knife attacked a nursery in Southport, England, stabbing 6 or 7 young children. I've seen both, and right now they do say that 2 little lives were lost. The way the police talked about this would give you the feeling when she was talking about the suspect that it was somebody that might have been established here for a while, but reports are coming out that it was a 17-year-old, Ali Al-Shakati, arrested in connection with the stabbings. He was on the MI6 watch list, known to Liverpool Mental Health Services, asylum seeker. Came to the UK by boat last year. This is the status of the world that we're in right now at this time. It is just madness and chaos. But I do think that this has happened in other generations, and maybe not too long ago. The deeper you look, the more you realize that these redos happen pretty often, maybe even continually in some ways. They ebb and flow. 45-year-old woman was stabbed in the face and back by an illegal in New York City as well. It's just crazy. You can't keep up with all the different events that are transpiring. Here you have Arizona Senator Mark Kelly on the short list for VP. Yeah, he literally owns a Chinese-funded spy balloon company. This is per the New York Times. You can't make this stuff up. By the way, polls are showing Kamala pulling ahead of 45. And I'm sure people will say, no, these polls, again, polls are worthless. None of it matters. And people might be saying none of it matters comes the day after election or election night even. This is all part of what has been planned and orchestrated for a very, very long time. By the way, she's calling for mass amnesty for the untold millions that have entered illegally and probably, as they've said in the past, a quick path to citizenship and voting. Yeah, you get the picture. But you know what? This happened in New York City, again, with Irish migrants 140 years ago. Same thing. the same thing was happening. They were pulling them in right off the boats, maybe even older than that, actually, and signing them up to a party. And then sometimes they were pulling them up, signing them up, enlisting them in the military, and shipping them out. I actually have I guess it was like a great-granduncle, something like that. My mother had shared with me, he fought in the Spanish-American War. Literally was the case. Came from Ireland on my mom's side, literally came off the boat and entered the military right away, and ended up down in the Caribbean fighting in that war. This is really, it's nothing new except for the fact that we're living at this time, and it's being publicized all over the world because of the technology that we have much more quickly than what we had back then. But then again, there's remnants of technology that gets you to wonder, what exactly did we have in the past?
Mm-hmm. You do. You have to look at things and look at the stone structures and the stone temples and the pyramids and do the math and figure out, well, what are they talking about? How could this possibly be? And until you come to the conclusion that these people will lie, cheat, and steal just to be on top. That's what they do. And they'll say anything they need to say to be on top. And, they'll adjust numbers as needed.
Recognize everything that's going on subliminally. Recognize when Trump was bloodied and ducked down and then came up pumping the fist saying fight, fight, fight. Check out this subliminal. If Congress and the courts will not take action to help us make our communities safer from gun violence, then we, the people, must do it ourselves. This is Newsom. How do you interpret that? Now, people will always talk about context. Oh, context. But context is sometimes used as a distraction to allow oneself to make another statement that's going to work its way subliminally into the heads of the masses in order to create some other seed for what's coming next. So a lot of times when you see taken out of context or fake news, sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's intentional because it's all about sowing the seeds of what comes next.
Mm-hmm. They enjoy it.
Absolutely. So he's proposing a right to safety amendment, a new amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which will mandate background checks, ban civilian purchases of assault weapons, period, raise federal minimum age to buy a firearm from 18 to 21. There's a lot going on right now. These are not safe times overall. And you have Israel calling on NATO to expel Turkey from the alliance. There was a statement that Erdogan made earlier saying it would be nothing for Turkey to invade Israel. We put our troops in Libya. We could put our troops in Israel in a moment's notice. And so now you have Israel saying to NATO, which Israel's not a member of NATO, by the way, Turkey is, to expel Turkey from the alliance. But Turkey is playing both sides, and in the reality, all the politicians play both sides. We were talking about whether or not 45 is a Christian, and I really don't think that any of the real leadership believes in any of the religions that the masses do, and that's the way I look at it. I think they understand the bigger picture, and they might say they are this, they might say they are that. But the reality is, I really don't think that they are any of the mainstream religions that we have on the planet.
Well, just the comment about being Christian, I still think we were talking about this earlier. We're talking about this before, how it's like a bait and switch to address or have people not address the real thing that he said. And I'm still feeling and wishing it was taken out of context when he talks about, oh, you'll never have to worry about voting again. We're going to fix it really good. Something like that. But we went back and we kept looking at the video, and I couldn't find where it was taken out of context. He was actually saying that, and everybody's just worried about the Christian comment.
Well, yeah, others said that you won't have to vote for another 4 years. But if you really listen to it, he was not saying, hey, you can have 4 years, you don't have to vote. Don't worry about it. Just come. He didn't say that. No, I mean, that's what people want to hear. But it's not the case. Just like, again, the Plague Upon the Land came out during 45's tenure. And he even took credit for the ouchies. He took a lot of credit for the ouchies. Now, if you go back 20 years prior to him becoming 45, he was very much against them and outspoken against them. But, you have to look at the bigger picture. He again hired a Rothschild banker to be, in a significant position of power when it comes to the economy. And we'll see, we'll see. I think, again, it's that there's the need to drink Kool-Aid and to hold out hope, but there is no hope in the system. I really don't think so, and respectfully disagree with those that do, and then hopefully we'll be proven wrong, but I really don't think that's the case, because again, this system is such that there's no way that you rise towards the top of it without being part of it, without doing that ceremony. For instance, this one ceremony where you're blindfolded and your hands are tied behind your back, and they put a sword to your heart and say, repeat after me. It's better that you should plunge yourself on this right now than you expose the secrets of, exactly what goes on behind the scenes. They would never expose the secrets because, they understand the real power structure. In Finland, you have an attack on critical infrastructure. Unknown attackers have toppled a 50-meter-high telecom tower. So, cut through thick metal cables. So, curious with that one. There's a lot going on. It's definitely amping up to all new degrees. Major explosion at Germany's largest chemical plant, BASF, over in Ludwigshafen. Yes, 14 people wounded there. And a accidental Chinese rocket launch led to a boom, as you see that there. Accidental. There's so many things in this world that they say are accidental. But are they? What really is going on behind the scenes? Tennessee, brand new 60 residential homes. Each development communities are being built that are for rent only. So, there's a lot of housing going up in the rental market. And this is part of that next stage. What they are planning is to basically try to eliminate home ownership entirely. So, I don't know what happens. And maybe, some of you have a better understanding, probably do, of what would happen if we have a 1929 style or even worse economic crash. And banks were forced to call in loans, forced to call in their mortgage. I've heard some people talk about this. Does anybody out there in the family know more about this? The reality of the fact that if a bank is going under, they could call in your mortgage, and if you can't pay it off at that point in time, they can foreclose on you. Even if you've been up to date on your payments. I look forward to your guys' comments because I do feel that, again, they don't want you owning anything. The few has said that. You will own nothing and you will be happy and you will eat the bugs. Well, you can see people are not going to eat bugs. And I just don't think it's going to, they might try this, but I don't see it working. We think that things are exploding right now. Wait till they try to do something like that. But please, anybody that does understand the economics of that, do share what you have learned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's also very confusing, and we're not very good when it comes to financial situations. But I don't know. This is curious. I guess it must be one of the clones here that is carrying luggage.
Yeah, this is not the first time that we see a Joe Biden clone. This looks like it might be the tall one. He's got a different look on his face. That might be Will Ferrell under there. It kind of looks like it. It's not the first time that we've seen a video of somebody that certainly looks like Biden heading out of town with somebody that often looks just like kind of Jill, but there's no security. That will never happen when somebody's an active president. There's security everywhere. Even when he's probably going to the John, there's security outside in the hallway. Very, very weird. Very weird. Well, you could count on your animals if you're feeling down and blue or tired or under the weather, because they do love you and they love unconditionally.
Oh, they do. They do. They're concerned for their humans, and they want to bring love, and they want to bring protection, and they want to bring joy, and just check on their humans and see how they're doing. And you can't beat it. Farm life, for as hard as it is, and you got so much stuff to do, those babies depend on you, and they love you so much, and you can feel it from them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So look forward to your comments. As always, guys, please do like, share, subscribe, click the little bell, and share your thoughts and feelings. Much love. Source bless. Namaste.
Namaste.